Through a blind pursuit of ethnic nationalism, China has also persuaded the worldwide Han diaspora into believing that they are Chinese, first and foremost, despite them holding American, British, Australian, or Canadian passports. China is building a nation of authoritarian followers behind the borders of free nations. What's China but the enemy of the free world? We stand here today, well into 21st century, and yet, right now we find both colonialism and ethnic nationalism still practiced and celebrated in China. We Hong Kongers cling on to whatever freedom or civilization we have left, fighting by the day for survival from Chinese oppression. And yet, the world is happy to let China use us as a gateway to the world, as if we are still the free and fair city we once were. Look how the US, under the United States Hong Kong Policy Act, still thinks that we are sufficiently different from China. So different that technology otherwise banned from exporting to China are allowed in Hong Kong. The result? All these sanctions are for naught because China could simply steal all the things they want from Hong Kong, where American tech flows freely. The cry for democracy is now less and less frequently heard in Hong Kong, not because we have given up or stopped wanting it, but because we realize that our political system has completely fallen into enemy's hand. As long as our sovereignty rests within Beijing, there's no hope for democracy in Hong Kong. My own experience proves the utter failure of our political system. First, because I advocated independence, I became the first person in Hong Kong to have his right to stand in election stripped because of political reasons. Second, the Hong Kong National Party, which I founded in 2016, became the first political party in Hong Kong to be deemed as an illegal association because of political reasons. The one and only culprit behind Hong Kong's fall is China, our colonizer. Tragically, there are those amongst us Hong Kongers who are willing to help them. The chief executive, along other top officials, are undoubtedly the biggest offenders. The Hong Kong police force, who willingly carry out the executive order of suppressing peaceful protesters with disproportionate force, are clearly accomplices in their crimes. Evidence is piling up, which proves that the Hong Kong police force committed crimes against humanity on 12th of June in 2019, when they violently cracked down on peaceful protesters in Hong Kong. Back in December 2018, the police visited East Turkestan, the so-called Xinjiang, to learn from the professionals there how to trample on human rights. What we have now on street are not law enforcers. No, what we have are trained machines ready to dispose of inconvenient civilians. The so-called one country, two systems is nothing but a falling fig leaf, desperately trying to cover the ugliness of China's destructive colonialism. When the UK, a country observes contractual obligations, signed the signal British Joint Declaration in 1984 with China, a country who values trust lesser than dirt. What happened was the betrayal of Hong Kong, a city of civilization, to China, an enemy of civilization. The government of Hong Kong has since followed the footsteps of Beijing and now acts fully against the rest of the civilized world. I hope that all of us will acknowledge this fact. And it is with the fact I hereby urge all countries listening for the sake of the world's freedom and civilization to impose sanctions on both China and Hong Kong. In particular, for those officials who trample on human rights, who committed crimes against humanity, countries around the free world must abolish their and their families' right of abode outside China and freeze their offshore assets. The Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act does this very thing, and is in the process of being debated and hopefully passed in the US Congress. I hope that the US doesn't stand alone in this endeavor. Hong Kong is an honest and kind-hearted people, a nation that I proudly call myself. But the regime that rules over us is the same regime that rules over China. It's a regime that stands against civilization and freedom. Do not be distracted by the kindness of Hong Kongers, for the Hong Kong government is working hard to destroy both the kindness and Hong Kong itself. With that, also Hong Kong. Hong Kong's puppet government must be brought down with sanctions equal to what is imposed on Beijing. Only when there's growth from the ground could freedom once again blossom on the soil of Hong Kong. Between civilized freedom and barbaric authoritarianism, I choose the former, even when the latter breathes down my neck. To close, I hope Hong Kong can be reborn from the barbaric ashes like a phoenix, and the world too can soon escape the oppressive clutches of China. Thank you.